narrow escape for President Trump, and there is a toxic environment across US.
We have to stand up against these radical extremists who want to overturn democracy by imposing their agenda through violence.
So recent article in the BBC which stated that how Canada became a car theft capital of the world.
Everything's broken after 9 years of Trudeau. His catch and release criminal justice system has allowed car theft to rage out of control.
Is Canada giving free tickets to criminals to commit the crime? Because that we see. We see the criminal is caught by the police. We see it's the same day he is out on the bail.
I will shut the drug dens. I will ban drugs. I will stop giving out tax-funded opioids. And I will put the money into treatment and recovery services so that we can bring our loved ones home drug-free.
We have seen recent cases of extortion where the criminals, they are out on bail. They are enjoying their luxury life. And extortion plus crime, if we talk about the biggest gold heist in Canadian history.
The police bring you in. They say you've been charged. Now you can go on bail. You go out and you threaten another business and another business, and you get caught again, and they say you're charged again, but don't worry, you're out on bail.
Because our Justice Minister, his vehicle was stolen 3 times, and still we listen every year that we are making changes in the criminal code. How tough is that to make the changes in the criminal code? Is there any tension between Prime Minister Trudeau and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland? Will she be fired now?
He's been going around trying to replace her.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? How can Canadians have faith in Chrystia Freeland when her own boss, Justin Trudeau, does not have faith in her?
Our Canadians, they are not able to pay their mortgages because it shoot double to triple. So what solution you have for them in the future? Like how can they afford their houses? We have leader of the opposition party, the leader of Conservative Party of Canada, Pierre Poilievre, with us. We'll be discussing the issues which concern residents, which concern Canadians. Mr. Poilievre, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Nitin. I appreciate it. Great to be with you.
Thank you. Mr. Poilievre, narrow escape for President Trump, and there is a toxic environment across US. What is your statement on this attack, and what message Canada should get from this attack?
First of all, I want to congratulate the former President Trump on his courage in the way that he responded, the defiance in standing up after having been shot in the ear to reassure his supporters and the rally goers that he was all right and that he would fight on. Second, I want to congratulate the sniper who killed the shooter. Thank God that the shooter is dead and was not able to kill more people. Third, I offer my condolence to the courageous father who gave his life to protect a loved one. We have to stand up against these radical extremists who want to overturn democracy by imposing their agenda through violence. And I'm pleased that that did not succeed in this case. Let's continue to stand for democracy against this radicalism.
And what message Canada should get from this?
That we need to stand up against extremism, radicalism. We see more and more violent, radical left that seeks to undermine democracy through force. And we can't allow that, and we must stand up for it every day on behalf of the common people who own our democracy.
Mr. Poilievre, when international media publish something about Canada which is not good for Canada, for Canada's image. So recent article in the BBC which stated that how Canada became a car theft capital of the world. Mm-hmm. And this article is there for years now. And every year to year we have seen that car thefts have not been stopped. Today's figures are 20 vehicles per day. Here in GTA region still is going on. Last year when we discussed, before that when we discussed, this was 24 vehicles per day. Still the situation is same, and international media is highlighting that too. This diminishes the Canada's image.
Yes, the world is noticing that Canada is turning into a dumpster fire. Everything's broken after 9 years of Trudeau. His catch and release criminal justice system has allowed car theft to rage out of control. It's up 300% in Brampton since Trudeau took office. He has allowed car thieves to easily take cars out through the Montreal port because only 1% of shipping containers are inspected. Meanwhile, he wastes billions of dollars on a ban on lawful licensed sport shooters and hunters. He has brought in catch and release so that extortionists and car thieves get out of jail within hours of their arrest, only to reoffend. This is the nightmare that Trudeau and the NDP have unleashed with their radical, wacko policies. But the good news is life wasn't like this before Trudeau, and it won't be like this after he's gone. Common sense conservatives will bring in mandatory prison time for car thieves. We will reinforce our ports by scanning every shipping container so that when there's a car in the container, we pull the container aside, pull out the car, call the person on the VIN, and get them their car back. And we will have more boots on the ground, CBSA officers doing inspections, stopping the theft, so that we can get back to a safe Canada that we can all be proud of.
So now if we talk about the article in the Telegraph, which says that hard decriminalization of hard drugs made Vancouver the fentanyl capital of the world.
Sorry to laugh. I wasn't laughing at the content. It's just that, you read one British news outlet
because
that says
that hurts. Being a Canadian, that hurts. When the world media,
this is what we're known for now.
Yes.
It's what we're known for.
Yes.
One British media says we're the car theft capital, and the other British media says that we're the fentanyl capital of the world. But this is the logical consequence of Trudeau's radical legalization of hard drugs. Trudeau will legalize all hard drugs if he gets the chance. He legalized fentanyl, crack, heroin, cocaine in partnership with the NDP government in BC. That caused a 400% increase in overdose deaths and massive crime waves. He's funding these drug dens. He calls them safe injection sites.
Yes.
Well, how safe is it to inject heroin? How safe is it when a beautiful mother from Toronto is hit with a stray bullet that comes flying out of the site, the safe injection site, and dies when she did nothing wrong? That's not safe. These drug dens are a nightmare. They're killing the addicts. They're threatening local communities. In Montreal, Trudeau has authorized a drug den right next to a school, right next to a playground, so that kids are seeing people doing masturbation and other sex acts while they're injecting drugs into their veins. Kids are having to have police escorts to just go to daycares. Enough. I will shut the drug dens. I will ban drugs. I will stop giving out tax-funded opioids. And I will put the money into treatment and recovery services so that we can bring our loved ones home drug-free.
So why the government says these are the safe injection sites? That because the maximum population, they goes to these sites to get the safe injection, safe supply. So if you are elected, you will shut down all these?
I will shut down the drug dens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Poilievre, for the extortions, we have seen the heinous crime. Every leader, they termed extortion as a heinous crime. We have seen recent cases of extortion where the criminals, they are out on bail. They are enjoying their luxury life. And extortion plus crime, if we talk about the biggest gold heist in Canadian history, second biggest, we have seen one driver was caught. He's in US. He's behind the bars for next 25 years. All others, those who are in Canada, these victims, these criminals, all these criminals are out on bail enjoying their luxury life. So what kind of, this is shocking to us.
Yes, look, bottom line is that Trudeau lowered the penalty for extortion. He made it easier for criminals to get out of jail. So if you do an extortion today, after 9 years of Trudeau's bill C-75, C-5, C-83, here's what happens. The police bring you in. They say you've been charged. Now you can go on bail. And you go out and you threaten another business and another business, and you get caught again, and they say, you're charged again, but don't worry, you're out on bail. If later on you get convicted, it doesn't matter, because you can do your sentence at home in your living room, and then you walk out the front door and you extort another business. Tim Singh Uppalji is my deputy leader. He's got a bill that will bring in mandatory prison sentences for extortionists that will lock them up for 5 years minimum for every single extortion, so that we take these people off the street. It's a very small number of people.
But that bill 381 is defeated in the parliament.
Yes, Trudeau, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois voted to allow extortionists to get out of jail early. That is what you get when you vote for these radical, wacko NDP liberal politicians. They release criminals to terrorize your streets, to shoot bullets through your 2-year-old daughter's window, to steal your car, to tear apart your neighborhood. That is what Trudeau and the NDP are delivering. That is why we need to fire them and elect common sense conservatives.
We want to understand what is the reason they defeated that bill, because the bill on the extortion bill C-381, that says that extortionists should be behind the bars for a longer time. And they also have their voter base, and they are Canadians. Canadians also want to see criminals behind the bars. So what is the reason they don't come and talk on this issue that we voted against that? Is only your party which is saying that they voted against the bill and they don't want to support this bill C-381. What is the reason why they are not supporting it?
Because Justin Trudeau is a wacko.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the answer. We have a wacko for a prime minister.
Okay. And is that so hard to make the changes in the criminal code? Because our justice minister, his vehicle was stolen 3 times. And still, we listen every year that we are making changes in the criminal code. How tough is that to make the changes in the criminal code?
You know, I have to say these car thieves, they should show some gratitude. Here, the Liberal minister who's letting them out of jail again and again and again. You'd think that these car thieves would be grateful to him and let him keep his own car, but they steal his car after he was the one that let them out of jail. It's like a crazy irony. This wacko justice minister lets the career car thieves go out of jail, then they steal his car, and he still is too stupid to learn the lesson. You'd think after he had his own car stolen that he would say, wow, maybe we should lock up these car thieves. Instead, he gives them house arrest so that they can do their sentence while watching Netflix or playing Grand Theft Auto. Like, sometimes I feel like, Nitin, we're all in a hallucination.
Yes.
In one of Justin Trudeau's drug-induced hallucinations, because it's so hard to understand what's going through the minds of the wacko ministers and prime minister that are running our country. We have to fire these people. Let's bring home the country we knew and loved with some common sense.
Is Canada giving free tickets to criminals to commit the crime? Because that we see. We see the criminal is caught by the police. We see it's the same day he is out on the bail. So is the free tickets to criminals?
Yes, this is right now, Justin Trudeau, he should just put out a memo to the world's criminals. Come to Canada, you can steal, you can extort, you can attack, you can burn people's houses down, you'll be out on jail in no time. You can commit murder. Even if you're convicted of mass murder, you can serve your sentence in a cushy, medium security penitentiary with a hockey rink and a tennis court and a kitchen, and live a nice, happy, pampered life paid by taxpayers. That is the country. But if you're a law-abiding citizen who works hard, starts a business, builds a family, then you're screwed. You can't afford your mortgage. You can't pay your bills. You can't start your business. You can't trust that your car will be there when you wake up in the morning. Justin Trudeau is waging a war against the hardworking, decent, law-abiding people of this country and turning this into a wonderland for criminals, terrorists, extortionists, and others who would destroy our communities.
Mr. Poilievre, such a beautiful country we came to, the Canada. And
Yes.
now where are we heading? We don't know, because every Canadian has a concern on this. Now, if we talk about the refugee claims, we have this system of refugee asylum claims since a long time. But now we have seen the stories of misuse of asylum system. Every day in June this year, 600 plus application per day were submitted. From January 2024 to May 2024, 526 plus application of refugees submitted per day. This is shocking figures because in these applications, the international students are applying, the visitors are applying, those who are on the work permit, they are applying a refugee status. Refugee mean if someone has a threat on them in their home country. If a student comes here as an international student, how can government can accept their application at the first point and then reject it after 5 years? So they are spoiling their careers, misuse of the refugee systems. What solution you have on this?
The system is in total chaos after 9 years of Trudeau. We need to restore the system of lawful immigration that we had prior to Justin Trudeau, where we shut out false and fraudulent refugee applicants, but allow lawful people who are genuinely in need to make a claim. We also need to bring the international student program back to its core purpose, which was to allow students who had admissions to real educational bodies, had ability to pay their rent and to feed themselves. Those people were allowed to come in numbers we could absorb. That's what I want to reinstate, a system that allows newcomers in numbers that we can house, employ, and care for, come and contribute to the country. But that is going to have to mean getting rid of the abuse that exists right now, which allows people to come here for fake colleges when they don't have the ability to pay their bills, stuffed 25, 26 people in the basement of one Brampton home. That has to end. And the other thing is we have to end the abuse in the temporary foreign worker program. LMIAs are being sold off on the black market to facilitate a 500% increase in temporary foreign workers in 10 years that are now flooding our markets and taking jobs away from Canadian youth. Look, I don't blame the people who are coming. I blame the Trudeau government that has screwed up the system so badly that everyone is losing. And we're going to bring home the common sense system of immigration that worked, was the best in the world for 150 years before Trudeau came.
Mr. Poilievre, if you know all these issues, you know the problems the Canadians are facing.
Yes.
There are so many more, including the mortgage payments and all. Why our elected officials, elected MPs don't discuss these things? So why don't they come and discuss these concerns of the Canadians?
Well, I am discussing them, and so are the common sense conservative MPs. The problem is we have a wacko, radical, extreme prime minister in Justin Trudeau who is literally tearing down all the foundations of the country. We need to fire Trudeau. He's not worth the cost. Crime, chaos, corruption. He needs to go, and we need to bring home the country we love.
Is there any tension between Prime Minister Trudeau and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland? Will she be fired now?
He's been going around trying to replace her.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? What would you do if you found out your boss has been trying to replace you without success for months and months and months? Mm-hmm. How can Canadians have faith in Chrystia Freeland when her own boss, Justin Trudeau, does not have faith in her? It's insane. But this guy is so incompetent. And of course, he's looking for someone else to blame. After he destroyed our finances, doubled our debt, doubled housing costs, sent 2 million people a month to a food bank, ruined our entire economy. Now he wants to blame it on her so that he can bring in someone else, and then in another year, he'll be blaming that person too.
Mr. Poilievre, another important issue of the mortgage payments, our Canadians, they are not able to pay their mortgages because it shoot double to triple. So what solution you have for them in the future? Like how can they afford their houses? Because right now, if they have built a pre-construction house with a builder, first, they lost their deposit. Second, the builder is suing them back that there is a difference in the sales and you have to pay us back. So they are trapped from all the sides. What solution you have for them?
What a mess. I feel badly for them because the Trudeau government told the people that debt was consequence-free and that rates would be low for long. And in fact, the exact opposite is true. And now people's mortgages are renewing at much higher rates. We're seeing defaults rising faster than at any time in our history. The only thing we can do is get rid of the deficits that are driving up interest rates. But Scotiabank said that interest rates are about 2 percentage points higher as a result of the deficits that governments are running. We have to get rid of the wasteful spending to bring down interest rates and allow families to afford their monthly payment. Second, we need to cut income taxes so people have more of their paycheck to make those mortgage payments. And third, we need to axe the carbon tax to lower the cost of gas, heat, and groceries. That will allow people to pay their bills and survive, hopefully to thrive again in the medium term.
So can Canadians sue Bank of Canada because they trusted them?
They should be able to. Actually,
they can. Do they have a right to sue?
No, they unfortunately don't, but they should because, this is a very good question because the Bank of Canada governor, at the direction of Justin Trudeau, told people that interest rates would stay low for long, and people believed him,
Yes.
and they took out massive mortgages as a result.
Yeah.
And they then now are going.
They lost their whole savings, all money.
Losing everything.
So do Canadians have a right to sue back?
They don't, but they should. That's a good point. You should be allowed to sue the Bank of Canada for the fact that it has destroyed so many people's livelihoods and households at the direction of Justin Trudeau. But one thing's for sure, I will be firing the governor of the Bank of Canada. There will be consequences for government executives who screw things up. We're not going to simply keep these people around and pay them bonuses when they destroy people's lives. I will be firing them. They will be held accountable like everyone else is in the real world.
Thank you, Mr. Poilievre. You came and discussed all these important concerns which Canadians are facing.
Yes.
Your final message to the Canadians because they see a hope in you.
I know that we're going through a horrible time. Everything is broken after 9 years of Trudeau, who's not worth the cost. But we can put the pieces back together. We can bring home the country that we knew and still love with a common sense plan to axe the taxes, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Restoring a sensible immigration system that works for us all. This is the Canada we had before. It's the Canada we knew. It's the country we still love. And now with the common sense of the common people, united for our common home, we can bring it home again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poilievre.
Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you.